There's large gaping mouths. Oh my. Ferris Bueller and high schoolers thinking they're samurai. This is Popcorn Recap, and today we will be covering a comedy post-apocalyptic show called Daybreak. Before we start, be sure to like the video, drop a comment, and, of course, subscribe to the channel if you dig the summary. Episode 1 begins with Principal Burr making a morning announcement all over Glendale High School through an intercom. After the announcement is over, the teacher begins her roll call for attendance. Many are named Jaden, a basic white boy name. The teacher calls the name Josh Wheeler and keeps repeating Wheeler in a throwback to the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Meanwhile, Josh Wheeler is sitting at the back of the class. Josh explains how bad things have become. His surroundings begin to change after a lively classroom to a dead one. He explains that dictators have caused a nuclear war. He proceeds outside holding a skateboard and a backpack through a large hole on the wall and explains how the apocalypse has been a blessing for him. Honestly, it will be a blessing for me too, and my lonely lifestyle. Eventually, he goes to a house where he explains that most of the adults are gone. The remaining adults melted into goo, and the rest turned into what they call ghoulies. He also says that the ghoulies tend to repeat the last stupid thing they thought. Well, my last thought will probably be my feet smells like blue cheese. Yeah. Josh explains that the ghoulies can rip a person's head and chug blood from it. He sees one male ghoulie catching a squirrel and violently eating it. Ew. Life is like GTA for him as he drives his Lambo. Following this, while he is out and looting in town, he finds a katana and says that every sword needs a great name. So, of course, he names it Sam. At night, he sees an enlarged pug pooping in his garage. Apparently, all the animals have mutated. I've always hated pugs. The following day, he skates through the streets and hides behind a post when he sees Baron Triumph riding a motorcycle with a small cage attached at the back of it. Josh sees a kid inside the cage screaming for help. Josh then explains that Baron is the third lord that catches kids and purees them into hummus. Hummus. Josh explains that mutated animals are not the only threat. Young people who survive have more or less maintained their circle of friends. Among the tribes are the disciples of Kardasha, the 4-H Club, the Jocks, the STEM Punks, and other countless tribes. Eventually, he finds a church where he plans to stay, but he sees Jocks have already claimed it. After a while, Josh hears a girl screaming. He then proceeds inside the church to investigate. Josh sees a group of golfers messing around with a huge box. Josh can hear some inside it. When the leader of the golfer, Terry, sees him, he threatens Josh. Josh is about to fight them with his katana and his skateboard as his shield. As they are about to fight, Terry dares Josh to entertain them instead, so he might live. So Josh tells them his story before the apocalypse happened. He recalls that he moved to Glendale from Canada before the first day of school. On his first day, he meets with Principal Burr, and they have a staring contest. Pedo bear alert. The principal talks about nuts. Principal Burr names the student who are allergic to peanuts. After a moment, the golfers interrupt him and accuse him of boring them. Terry tells Josh that they can use someone like him as a slave. The black golfer interrupts him and says that he doesn't like the word. Josh responds to the golfers that he cannot join them since he has a mission. Following this, Josh's backstory continues where he meets Sam Dean. Principal Burr assigns Sam to show Josh around the school. No wonder he called his katana Sam. Sam eventually shows Josh around the school. During the campus tour, Josh learns that Sam's real name is Omira. While his story continues, the golfers interrupt him again, telling him that Sam Dean is way out of his league. Josh becomes pissed and tells the golfer to free the girl inside the box, whom he believes is Sam. The golfers refuse to let go of the girl inside the box. The leader of the golfer commands another golfer to put a dog collar on Josh's neck. Josh immediately pulls out his katana again and threatens the golfer. The golfers laugh at him, and their leader puts up a middle finger in front of Josh. After this, Josh becomes aggressive and tries to cut off the leader's middle finger clean, but fails. Instead, the katana is lodged stuck in the leader's hand. The leader commands to seize Josh. The golfers try to fight off Josh, but he uses the leader to shield him. Josh manages to fight off the golfers. Eventually, the girl inside the box manages to get out, holding a Molotov. To Josh's surprise, the girl is not Sam. Instead, it is Angelica, whom he loathes. Josh tells the golfer that he is leaving since the girl is not Sam. Angelica protests for Josh not to leave her. Josh tells the leader that he made PB&J with his katana earlier, and he knows about the leader's allergy to peanuts. The leader's name is Terrence Markasian, as he remembers how Principal Burr named the students that are allergic to peanuts. As Josh leaves, Terrence yells at Josh that he just made the wrong enemy. After this, Josh leaves the church and Angelica follows him, where they see Wesley Fitz wearing samurai armor. Josh tries to fight off Wesley, but the guy appears friendly. Josh eventually learns from Wesley that Sam is hanging at the mall, Baron Triumph's territory. All of a sudden, Angelica screams that they need to go because the golfers will chase them. Josh, together with Wesley and Angelica, run away from the church. The golfers hit up a cloud of smoke to the sky. Oh, a happy face. Meanwhile, one of the jocks sees the smoke in the sky. He informs a girl named Mona that the golfers might be in trouble. Mona dismisses him, who is busy watching the live American Ninja Idol. In front of them is a man singing on a stage and goalies below the stage. Eventually, Torbo, the leader of the jocks, gestures to kill the man since he sings terribly. With that, a small door on the stage opens and the man singing falls to the goalies. The man fights off the goalies and escapes. However, one of the jocks readies a bazooka and shoots the man already running away from them. The explosion of the bazooka rips the man in pieces, killing him instantly. Eventually, Mona comes up to Torbo and tells him about the smoke. Torbo growls loudly, and the jocks run to their cars, eventually driving away. As the golfers continue to hunt Josh brings Angelica and Wesley to his old apartment where there are a lot of supplies to survive. Josh then remembers his time with Sam and the moment he introduced Sam to his posted parent, because ever since his parents got divorced, they moved to Glendale, and his mother tends to leave early for work and always leaves reminders for him through posted papers. Well, at least he has a mom. Mine is in ashes in the closet. So Sam tries to kiss him, but he refuses since Josh does not want a pity peck as their first kiss. Give me a break. Sam compliments Josh for being honest and for being true to himself. Josh tells Angelica and Wesley to leave him because he needs to save Sam at the mall. Angelica refuses by telling Josh that Sam could not be in the mall and might be dead. However, Josh sees a post-it asking where Josh is, whom he believes Sam leaves for him to find. The sound of Josh's car interrupts them. Josh, Wesley, and Angelica peeks out of the window and sees the golfers pass by and the jocks rallying up in front of the apartment. When Josh, Wesley, and Angelica discovers that the golfers have teamed up with jocks, where Torbo gathered all of the jocks under one flag, which spells disaster for the rest of the wasteland. The jocks and golfers begin to throw rocks at Josh's apartment, forcing Josh, Wesley, and Angelica to hide. Josh accepts help from Wesley and Angelica after some thought, and together they battle Torbo, the jocks, and the golfers from the window by pelting them with blood bombs. Their action eventually draws ghoulies, who eat Terrence and send the rest of the jocks and the golfers fleeing for their lives. Meanwhile, Josh, Wes, and Angelica leave the apartment separately. The jock and the remaining golfers continue to haunt Josh. As Josh hides from them, he remembers the day of the explosion where he lost Sam. Eventually, Torbo and Mona find him. Josh runs while the jocks and the golfers follow him. Wes and Angelica arrive at the mall. Suddenly, a rogue ghoulie approaches Wesley and Angelica, prompting them to defend themselves with Angelica's flamethrower as Wesley tries to burst down the mall's front locks. On the other hand, Josh rescues the day by impaling the back of rogue ghoulies with his katana. Josh tells Wesley and Angelica to hurry because the jocks and the golfers are on their way to them. However, Wesley notices that no one is following Josh. Eventually, Josh, Wesley, and Angelica prepare to defend themselves as they see Baron Triumph coming to them with his motorcycle. Baron stops in front of them and reveals himself to the group as Eli Kardashian, a student from Glendale High School. However, it turns out that he has been posing as Baron Triumph, and the motorcycle is even equipped with training wheels. Never learned to ride a bike like me. Eli has control of the mall, even though he is not the real Baron. After this, the real Baron Triumph promptly arrives at the mall. Taking refuge inside the mall, Eli sets up a barrier that locks him and Wesley on one side and Josh and Angelica on the other. There's a ghoulie witch screaming on Josh and Angelica's side. Meanwhile, Turbo and the jocks question the remaining golfers and send out a signal which kinda acts like their version of texting. Later, the nerds in vain attempt to murder Turbo and overthrow him, only to learn that they have slain a dummy who is another golfer who instantly dies. Soon later, the real Turbo arrives and the nerds receive their consequences. During the meeting, the jocks throw a keg party with liquor supplied. However, Turbo is only concerned about Josh. Following this, Josh remembers how he and Sam make a vlog in which Sam pays genuine compliments to people as a statement against the pervasive fakeness of social media. However, Josh is harassed by some jocks and promptly flees. After Eli decides to let them go at the mall, Josh takes the reins of the operation and heads up into the depths of the mall to search down the ghoulie witch. With the assistance of Angelica, they manage to catch the witch, who happens to be Miss Crumble, a one-of-a-kind ghoulie who can talk in full phrases and thinks independently. Meanwhile, Wesley and Eli converse, and Eli informs Wesley that he is not a samurai or on the path of enlightenment after what occurred in school. Eli tries to antagonize Wesley after slapping him several times, but he does a good job hiding his scorn without fighting back. Later, Miss Crumble opens her mouth. OMG, that is a huge mouth. Probably useful for something, wink wink. She tells Josh that the keys are deep inside her, so Josh needs to put his entire hand inside her mouth to grab the keys. Wow, that's a weird kink. Josh is a little hesitant and worried that Miss Crumble could eat him, but he proceeds to put his hand inside her. Josh tries to flee, but as he opens the door, he is instantly ambushed by the ghoulie from earlier. Eli and Wesley prepare for the coming of Baron Triumph upstairs, but after some convincing, they decide to join together and fight him off when the real Triumph, who happens to be Jade Holes, arrives. Miss Crumble appears out of nowhere and assaults him, frightening him. As the group mulls over whether or not they can trust Miss Crumble in the aftermath, Wesley takes Eli off guard, who closes the door between them. As Wesley walks away, Eli informs him that he knows his secret and why Wes is a pacifist. Episode 2 ends with Josh conversing with a former version of himself in the bathroom, which he claims is a visual illustration of him talking to himself. It turns out that the ghoulie had bitten Josh. Eventually, Josh tries to chop off the sullied limb with his katana in despair, but he blunders up and only manages to slice off one of his fingers. After this, Angelica exposes multiple bite scars of her own. Angelica then reveals that the ghoulies do not infect the body. It's not the Walking Dead. Josh realizes that he slices his finger off for no apparent reason. Oopsie. Guess he can't use the two